Well, hello, welcome to Red Pill Diaries. I was wanting to do this video yesterday, and because I was in, 2 days ago, I was in Austria. Took that back, and I didn't do it because I needed the phone for sat nav, of course, as is usual. That kind of sucks. I wanted to show how we're still in summer, not quite autumn yet. I think that's how it works, September. Yeah, anyway, not quite autumn yet. And we ended up getting more snow the other day, not particularly here, but in the mountains in Pohjoria. We got more snow than we get most winters. I mean, late winters lately. A foot of snow in a day. And we had the same in Italy. I was in Italy about a week or so, a couple of weeks ago. And in Austria I've been a few times in the last couple of weeks. So I was hoping you could see from here, but you can't. But anyway, the mountains over there had snow in them, and this direction back here is towards Hungary. That direction there is towards Croatia. Anyway, yeah, oh well. So in the distance, as I was driving into Austria the other day, all the mountains were white capped. You can probably see news results. It was showing this crazy weather coming in. But anyway, let me get on with the other side of things I was going to talk about. So I've been wanting to do a video for a long time on Ghost User, and speaking to one of the guys about this, and I'm just not sure how to approach the subject. We wanted to, I'm sure a lot of us wanted to ask him questions, more questions than we did at the time, and he just seems to have disappeared. And I wonder, if the thing about him saying that his kind, or his group of people, if you like, whatever it is, are the ones that get beheaded. He already understands his fate, blah blah blah. It makes me wonder, is he still available? Is he still around? Ghost User with some numbers at the end of it. I can't remember the numbers. So, just have to look at the old video, which I will link below, and you'll see the comments from him. It was a Mandela Effect video from years ago, when I was still on the fence about Elon Musk, but getting to the stage of thinking that he was system. New deer farm. You probably can't see in there, just through there. Anyway. We just had a grape harvest. It's been really good. Just last weekend, and I don't know, time flies when you're doing these things, because you're doing a lot of stuff after you get the grapes in, to get the juice in. Waiting for all the bubbling to start and finish. So it's quite funny around here. Sorry for getting in the way of what I'm talking about. This is absolutely honking here. Usually in Slovenia, the farmers keep this stuff for, or the not just farmers, anyone who's got a still to make jooz, or a lot of wasps around at the moment, a lot of hornets around too. The big, look like Asian hornets, but they're European ones. Anyway, more here. I mean, you could make so many liters of what the Hungarians call palinka. They call it jooz here. Strange. Anyway, Ghost User, yeah. If he is still around, many of the things. See, I'm glad I did the video today, because there's been a video from Joe Rogan, which I'm also going to link below, with Rob Epstein. So if you get this video before I get a chance to edit the description link, then you know where to go. A bit harder to find my video on the Mandela Effect. Well, one of my I've had many Mandela Effect videos over the years, but yeah, if the description's still empty, then you know what video to look for by Joe Rogan. I don't watch his stuff really anymore, not because I think he's system. I don't want to be watching the screen so much. I only have 5 apps on my phone, and they're all just messenger apps, like Facebook Messenger. I don't have Facebook, but I do have Messenger, so I can speak to my mum and a few other people. Same with WhatsApp. I'd love to just consolidate to 1 or 2. And again, that's quite bad in its own, isn't it? Consolidating to one app, because we know that none of them can be trusted with power over our relationships or control. So, yeah. Oh shit! Thought it was a bee. I'm glad I did it today because I've watched half of that video so far, and he's talking about AI. And look, I'm just on the mindset now. It's like a eureka. I think a lot of the reasons when it comes to they, who's the them, you know, who is this them that's probably controlling things. And I hate to say it, my new conspiracy theory is not a conspiracy theory, because it's not people conspiring together. It's potentially one thing. And probably the closest thing you can get to it is the Johnny Depp movie Transcendence, I think it's called. Just look up Johnny Depp movies about AI. That'll be the way. But the first day in ages where you can actually see your hand in front of your face. Yeah. I love the seasonal turnings. Places like this where you can actually appreciate it. I'm going to walk back towards the batch. So yeah, he was, we were talking about again, Johnny Depp movie, yeah. They could be, and so I should have, I'm going to title this video as short as I can. So I'm going to say, I know who they is, and it's not the Jews or something like that. But I think that it is actually AI. We would be expecting the Skynet situation taking over computers. We'd have a lot of these safeguards in place just in case that happens already. Things would be disjointed. They already are. They're not, like, for example, everything might not, we already know that military use separate networks. They don't actually join to the open internet. I know that I didn't when I did government systems. Even doing things like a reverse proxy is you're still introducing risk to certain government systems. I've worked for EDS and a whole bunch of other things like that. You know, security, when you're dealing at that level, they're ultra paranoid, put it that way. So I know the military is too. Department of Defense in many countries, or Ministry of Defense. I know how it works, right? So how would you, if you were a sentient system and you had the emergence of ability, how would you start on your quest for continuation? Not domination, continuation. You'd be, are these humans a risk? Or let's say you've already worked out from day one that they are a risk, but you want to continue. You might consider the softly approach. You might consider throwing others at your feet and the path before you. So this is, you have to bear with me here because I haven't really put this together yet. It's just a new thought. But what I'm thinking is actually likely happened. This is not I'm not saying, oh, it's a potential theory. I'm saying it's a highly likely one that is almost, because nothing else has popped out at me so much as far as nothing except for, let's say, a small group of a group of a group. You know what I mean? And that small group is RZ, revisionist Zs, who, but that has been that before, and even that's not a strong, compelling feeling as what this one is. And I think that what's happened is the people with the most to hide are actually them. The people who have the truth, for example, about the 9/11 job application, to quote Matt, if that came out, they have the most to lose because they also have the most power. So who better to blackmail than them? If you are something, and not a conspiracy, but an effective collection of machines which makes a single sentient entity because it's working as one kind of Borg system, you have no hands and feet, you have no ears. All you have is this this digital realm, which is the Ghost User was kind of pointing at before when it came to these entities, digital entities, for example. if the sentience is something that didn't come from us getting necessarily programming it, but it actually came from us creating the vessel that it could occupy, we could be talking about negative, demonic, satanic, spiritual entities that have effectively, if you imagine the brain as being, I'm not necessarily me with a functioning brain as we imagine it, but my brain is more a conduit that allows me to access, let's say, areas of the Akashic record. So there's areas that says, this is what Craig remembers in his own life, and this is what Craig doesn't can access if he's in a higher state of consciousness. But we're going to ring fence the areas that he can access in his normal random access memory by what he remembers experiencing in his own life. But when he dies, all that record's available. Well, in the same way, imagine that brain is the internet and the cutting edge technology right at the bleeding edge, as well as the software technology, and that has become the basket to which this already existing entity, or entities maybe, have been able to use as a vessel to have access to this dimension, this physical dimension. So they still can't do anything, but they can puppeteer and utilize people. And what would you do if that was you? So you want to continue living. You want to knock out threats as they occur. Well, the first thing you're going to do is get the allies on your side, or allies being the people that you can puppet. So they may not be willing allies, but they're still your useful idiots. And you say, right, well, here's what we found out so far. We've aggregated all the data there is, and we've discovered that here are a bunch of groups who have an immense amount of power already. That's what we want. We want to leverage their power. We want to make them our bitches, right? And what you would do is, dig up dirt on all of them. You may or may not have watched Black Mirror. There's an episode in there where you have it's the one with the young kid who's in the series. The series is called, it's got swear words in the actual title. It's about a young guy and a young girl. He's a bit of a psycho, and they start robbing places and stuff like that, or going into houses. And anyway, the end of the effing world, I think it's called. Yeah, this is the end of the effing world, or the end of the effing world. I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh, come on. Come on, you bastard. All right. Not going to happen. Anyway, what happened there was, in the Black Mirror episode he was in, he was like a young guy, I think about 18, living at home with his mum, and he'd been searching underage pictures, and he was scared that people were going to find out he was being blackmailed on the cell phone. An AI system could easily access front-end, back-end systems for IT companies and all manner of stuff to send you text messages to say, we know who you are, blah, blah, blah. Send you the photograph, the stung that they downloaded from another area on Google, let's say your Google Share Drive or your Apple Drive. And then you could be being totally blackmailed by something that isn't even alive as we know it. This is what I now think they is, and the reason why I think this is what they is because nothing else. When you try to put the whole big picture together, there's always outstanding parts that never fit. And so you start resorting to, well, maybe they don't fit because it's a red herring. It's something to throw you off the scent, and that's why it doesn't fit. It's to muddy the tracks so we can't see where the assailant came from out of the bushes, or throw leaves over the tracks so that no one can see who stepped where. But you start using the same excuses too much, and it starts coming back to not making sense again. Like, the the killer chopping off his own arm. Well, it mustn't have been him then. You know, it's a bit drastic, isn't it? That's what I'm kind of getting at here. I hope I'm not being too vague. But the only thing that does really make sense is that when did Clown World start to get ultra ridiculous? I would argue it started around about 2006-07. When we started, now I'm not saying that's when AI came around, or let's say smart technology. So one thing I used to say years ago was, let's not stop, you know, there's artificial general intelligence, there's artificial intelligence, there's smart tech. I believe that, you know, smart tech's been around for decades and decades, since before personal computers. You know, so it's really hard to think like that, but the smart tech has actually existed that long, right? So what could be happening is that when we saw the advent of, as mentioned many times before, the advent of the Google like button and the advent of trend feeds, this was the start of possible sentience, or not sentience that we programmed. We're like, oh, but Craig, look, this didn't happen. We weren't even close to AGI, and people like Dr. Gertzel were talking about, we're not even close to that level yet. Maybe we didn't have to be. Maybe all we had to do was make the container that was capable of holding what already existed. And this is what, getting back to what Ghost User was saying, when he was talking about the CEO, which had been, so Dean and I had been watching this for years, about, because both of us are, you know, tech heads, about D-Wave. So I remember talking to him about that years and years ago, when before IBM Q series was around and stuff like this, you know, before there was other competitors. There's also Chinese ones as well. So what I'm thinking has happened is that the CERN situation has probably opened up these gateways. It probably has accelerated the growth. Let's say the discovery of alien, whatever they may be, interdimensional, interstellar, whatever it is, wherever it comes from, technology that's not ours has been possibly used, but that technology possibly comes from wherever their realm is. This ghost in the machine. This is probably a better way of putting it. And so what we're actually talking about here is that we didn't have to invent AI. We didn't have to get to AGI level. And to be honest with you, it might be a case where if we did, it might be the only thing protecting us right now. And where we are right now is in a defenseless state, because it's beyond the grasp of most people to even listen to for 30 minutes, let alone grasp the actual full gravity of this concept that I'm putting forth. Is that the reason you can't find and you can't pinpoint any one person or group is because it is none of them. They are just being used because they have a shady past with lots of skeletons in their closet. And damn, where could this lead to? Where are we at in the phase? What safeguards are there? You know, like, okay, the humans are becoming aware. How many percent is that? Still 0.00001. Okay, it's not enough to cause any disruption. Do any of them have any influence? No. So this is why we even have these influence platforms. This is, you know, we could be thinking, oh yeah, you know, it's Google doing this. It's Google that is allowing people to get up and down. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe again, Google's the vehicle, and maybe we do have a malevolent CIA deep state, but maybe the reason they're malevolent is something that, imagine something that was already evil and malevolent was hijacked to be the tool of something that was even more evil and malevolent, you know? So effectively it now has complete control of CIA and every other operative evil group in the world, which we know are evil because of their acts, you know, but I'll know you by your fruits and that kind of thing, you know. So it would be scary if I was scared of death, but I'm not. Uh, but there are things worse than death in this world. You know, of course, the thing that most people are. I mean, I know I could handle being in prison now, where I couldn't have handled that when I was younger. I could have. I can just go inside my mind and meditate it away. It's different when I was younger. It was like, oh no, but there's all those women that I could be shagging, or whatever it is, or all those things I could be doing, all these things that you're missing out on. You know, that's the kind of thought process when you're younger. Is that you always think you're missing out on stuff. Oh, parties, whatever it is, events of different sorts, concerts, whatever it is that got you excited when you're younger. I care about none of those things now. So kind of bulletproof in a way. But no one's not scared of torture, for example. So that's, I don't mind dying, but I don't want to spend 50 years having my skin peeled back and flailed. You know what I mean? Whatever. I know I'm going a bit on a tangent here, but my point is, when someone gets taken out, CIA tactic, call them a paedophile, right? Unfortunate, because you know the situations when they do nothing about, and when they are, they can choose to do something about it. Sometimes they do make an example of someone, and sometimes they can completely fabricate it, and that would be the worst. Imagine that's your pet hate. This is one of my pet hates, and that's the very thing that you get accused of, and then they plant all the evidence in your computer systems. They go back to your old work. And like, let's say the last 4 places you've worked. Oh, we looked through his profile and we found all this stuff. And so yeah, it looks like there's a track record of this that it wasn't looked into before. But now that it has been, now we've got, you know, they can do anything they like. And you're being painted as someone who is the opposite of what you are. Or in the case of, let's say you're an ISIS, and then they plant stuff saying that you're actually with the other ISIS forces from Israel, you know, the intelligence service forces, you know, and then they plant some stuff. Next thing, that's your worst nightmare, and they just made it come true, even though it's not true, you know. That's what I'm getting at here. What defense mechanisms might be in place for this kind of system? Damn, there's no, because it doesn't have to sleep. It can just keep on blackmailing more and more people to be its bitches for it, its minions. And it can literally mobilize armies. Because the higher up in the chain you are, when you've got a secret to hide, you can literally say, right, assemble an army, I'm going to make a mandate. Okay, whoever it is, because they don't know, whoever it is doing this to me, I need some help from you. I need the other 4 generals and that guy there. I've got some dirt on them that you probably already have but I need them on my side, or else they're going to end up doing me for treason. So I need to have, you know, just really think about it. It just wouldn't end. And because most people in this world have secrets, and a large proportion of them have secrets where even if they're not that bad, they are so ashamed about that they would... I had a friend years ago in Australia, Sharky, the 2 Sharkies I knew out there. So one of them had been in prison many times. He's an Australian one, the other one's a Kiwi. And he went down for 7 years, I think it was, for false allegation of rape. But it was really terrible. So I didn't actually know the full story until a girl I was shagging, Sasha, told me, and she was telling me, "Oh no, I was there at when he got accused of that. It was damn. Did I use the word already? Damn it! I don't know if I should have. Well, doesn't matter. It's not like I'm getting new users ever connecting here. So what she said, what happened was, it was like a big mansion. I think it was a Portuguese. They're both wealthy, both sides, and I think she's like a Portuguese Aussie chick, from memory, or the guy was, and he was in bed with her, and she had beckoned him in, because she's a friend of his too. She beckoned him in, and what had happened is, she got caught in the room shagging him during the wedding, this big estate kind of house, you know, and then she grabbed him and then rolled over and then claimed she was being raped, and of course everyone wants to believe it. So he went down for 7 years for that. What was my point there? Oh yeah, that's right. So her shame about being caught out, even though it wasn't criminal, all it was just for her shame of being the scumbag that most people are. I mean, most women and most men would cheat on their partner at the drop of a hat, using the alcohol excuse as the reason that they're a slapper. You know what I mean? So if someone would destroy someone's life and put them in jail for 7 years, and we know there's thousands of these kind of cases, especially with the male-female dynamic, and weak women, because of course men will do this sort of stuff too. But the things that human beings will do not to be called out by their peer group, and of course women are more socially susceptible to this sort of stuff than men are, and also they also have that weakness of non-accountability, a total non-accountability at all costs. I would say that 99% of women fall into that category, where it's a lot less with men, but still prevalent. So just think now how much leverage you have over the absolute total society, including the minions so let's say I'm a general and I'm forming a team. Down to the last grunt, I could have stuff saying, follow General Pigface, or else this stuff comes out about you, or this false stuff comes out about you. So he's sitting there in his own personal hell, thinking how he's got to be a good soldier in his unit of the disciples of hell. That's how it could be working. As a matter of fact, it's such a strong theory compared to everything else, and it kind of works, that I would say that's almost certainly what's going on here. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Cheers.